Hello everyone, welcome back to another Facebook Live. My name is Rachel. I am an environmental educator at Sea Turtle Inc. Sea Turtle Inc. is a nonprofit organization and sea turtle hospital in South Padre Island, Texas. So today I will be doing a nesting update for you all. So we're going to be talking about some numbers and give you all the updates that we have on our current nesting season. Now, if you did not know, Kemp's Ridleys are the sea turtles that nest on our beaches right here in South Padre Island. Kemp's Ridleys are the most endangered sea turtle species in the world, and they only nest right here in Texas and northern Mexico. That's it. So we're very lucky to see them come up on our beaches. We're wrapping up the end of nesting season, so our efforts primarily now are actually in our corral where we have all of our relocated nests. We will still be patrolling out on ATVs, so if you see us out on the beach, we're looking for just those last few Kemp's Ridley nests, or there's a chance we could be seeing some Atlantic green sea turtle nests or loggerhead nests. We usually have a sprinkle of those every year. Now we do actually have 2 Atlantic green sea turtle nests this season, which is super exciting. We have 78 Kemp's Ridley nests. So 78 and 2 green. So we have 80 nests for the season, which is awesome. We're super excited. Last year we had 49 nests. So we've had quite a few nests this year. We're very happy about that. We're putting a lot of work into monitoring our corral. Our conservation team has been very busy. They're expecting a pretty big night tonight. Over the next couple of days, they're expecting around 11 chambers to emerge. So we're working hard. We are temporarily closed to the public. If you are wondering, I'm actually filming from my home. So I'm in front of my Sea Turtles of Texas poster, in case you're wondering what this background is. Thank you to Nina, our vet tech, for giving me this poster. So I am at home as we are temporarily closed to the public. We will post any updates on when we will be reopening on our Facebook. But if you have any questions about nesting season, please put them into the comments below. I'll be happy to answer them. If you don't have any questions as of right now, I'll just keep talking about nesting season. So these eggs will incubate in our corral facility for about 45 to 55 days total. So that's how we kind of know when to look at the nests and, monitor them. We can actually dig down and see where the hatchlings are as they will hatch and emerge and make their way up the nest column and emerge at the surface. So we know when to watch them based on those 45 to 55 days. If you're wondering how, we know when they're going to emerge. So we can never exactly emerge what hour, they could emerge at 11 p.m. at night. They could emerge at 4 a.m. It really depends on when those little guys are ready. But we do have our interns actually camp out in our corral facility in a tent. And then the responder, who's a part of the conservation team, so whether it be Jeff George, our director, or Mariana Devlin, who's the conservation director, or our field technician, Emma. So they'll go in and help out the girls who are camping out in the corral facility. So if you're wondering where a corral facility is, it is actually right here on South Padre Island as well. It's just north of our facility out on the beach. It's a fenced-in area that has all these yellow stakes in the ground. Each stake represents a nest, and as I said, we're up to 80 nests, which is super exciting. I see some questions and comments coming in. As usual, let me know where you're tuning in from. I would love to know where our viewers are from. I see Amy, our volunteer. She's viewing from Dallas. Hi, Amy, from Florida. Jacqueline asks, when are most of the baby turtles releases done? So they are done whenever the babies are ready. So when they emerge, they'll enter a frenzy state. When they're in that frenzy state, they have very limited energy to make it to the ocean as they are very teeny tiny. So we will release them when they enter that frenzy state. So as I mentioned, it could be 2 a.m., it could be 7 a.m. It really just depends. We are not holding any public hatchling releases or not holding, because of COVID. It promotes gatherings of well over 100 people. We get hundreds and hundreds of people that come to these releases. So we will be doing all of them privately. We will be filming some of the sunrise hatchling releases for you guys when they happen, whenever we have an opportunity. I did film one last week and we posted it to here if you're interested in seeing that. Let's see. Gregory asks, how do you get the eggs to begin with? So these mamas will actually nest during the day. So Kemp's Ridleys nest during the day and on windy days. So we patrol out on ATVs as well as on foot looking for the tracks. The tracks are the easiest thing to see in the sand. It's difficult to time ourselves perfectly to be there when the mama is there exactly. So we're looking for the tracks. The tracks will guide us to the disturbed area where the mama laid her nest. We will then probe and relocate all of the eggs. We do this for protection. There are way too many negative factors that would affect the survivability of these hatchlings, such as predators. There are coyotes, crabs, feral cats, anything like that can eat the eggs. And in our corral facility, they are protected. Even natural things, sometimes the tide comes up very high. We wouldn't want it to inundate the nest and then drag them out to sea. And Andrew asked, is it true you don't want to bother the babies as they get to the ocean? So yes, it's always important to stay out of their way. Now we will release and monitor our hatchlings, so we're able to make sure that nobody is getting close to them. We'll always monitor that process. We will also monitor that any birds aren't coming in too close, because sometimes the gulls can start diving down and try to take the hatchlings. So we'll always monitor them and watch them make that journey out to sea. This is a good segue into this part of this Facebook Live. If you see any hatchlings washed up on South Padre Island, please call us immediately. Some of these hatchlings can wash back, and it's really important that we get to them as soon as possible. So what you can do is keep that hatchling under shade. So keep it shaded. You don't have to necessarily put it in the water. A damp towel will do until we can come pick it up. So if you see any washback hatchlings on South Padre Island, please call us immediately. You can call our regular phone line. So if you Google Sea Turtle Inc., it'll come right up. If no one is there, it'll refer you to an emergency line. Someone has that cell phone 24/7, so we'll come meet you wherever you are. We've already had a few hatchlings washed back, so we did get a call about one from a member of the public, which was awesome. So if you keep an eye out while you're taking your beach walks or hanging out with your family, you might find a washback hatchling. See what else we got. Lots of people from Texas tuning in, Nebraska. Awesome. Thank you so much that you guys are tuning in. We're happy to have you here. I'm sad I can't be at the facility, educating there, but I'm trying to do these Facebook Lives while we can. So we're really happy to do them, and it's a way for us to connect with you guys. And we know not all of you live close to Texas, so you won't be able to make it to Sea Turtle Inc. in person. So we're really happy to do these lives so we can reach so many more people than we can physically at our facility. Eric asked, how long does it normally take from hatching to release? Do the babies lose energy waiting too long to get released? So they'll emerge out of their little eggshells underground, and then it'll take them quite a while to actually reach the surface. So we'll monitor that whole process. Sometimes, it may be a few hours that we have to watch them. Sometimes they might not even emerge the night that we predicted. They're really just monitored, and we let them do their thing. And once they frenzy, we'll of course release them. They can lose their energy waiting if, we were to hold them, but that's why our process is so fast. Once we see about 10 hatchlings at the surface, we're gonna get ready to then take those hatchlings to do some processing at Sea Turtle Inc. and then go out and release them. So they never truly have to wait that long. Let's see. Neil asked how long till they hatch. So they will incubate for about 45 to 55 days. There's another question here. Has there ever been a moment where y'all release the babies and a seagull ends up taking one? I've never experienced that in person. I'm sure it's something that has happened in time, but I've never seen it myself. We do a pretty good job of watching the gulls. Let's see, any other questions? Lots of people tuning in. Thank you all so much. I see my sister and my nephew are tuning in. Hi, Lucas. I love you so much. Rocky asks, how many nests do we currently have? We are up to 80 nests. So we have 68 Kemp's Ridley nests 78 Kemp's Ridley nests and 2 Atlantic Green Sea Turtle nests. So we're super excited. Let's see if I have any other data here for you. If you're wondering about our hatch rates, they're still pretty high for the season. So as far as hatch success from egg to live hatchling, we're looking at about, 80 or 90% success rate, which is awesome. We'll get those final numbers for you when we wrap up the nesting season. So we'll always do a nesting season update at the end, and we'll be able to calculate all those totals, total number of hatchlings released and hatch success and all of that for you, and we'll present it to you all. Rhiannon asked, do you plan on releasing any turtles soon? We're actually releasing our hatchlings all the time. So, we're going to release hundreds, I'm sure, tonight. We just unfortunately can't do it for the public. And most of the time, they're actually emerging overnight. So it's under red light. And under red light, it's very, very difficult to see. So we're not able to, film those releases for you. We can only film them when they happen at sunrise. Have we released Nest 30? I think we are in, let me check, I have my little cheat sheet here. I think we're in the 20s, so we're approaching Nest 30, but it has not hatched out yet. If I believe, or let me try to think. Emma, the field technician, is my roommate, so I have this information readily available. I believe she said we were around Nest 26 or 27. So that's where we kind of are in the season. So we still have a lot of nests to hatch. Let's see what we have. Has it happened where you guys don't find nests? We always find nests, every season. The numbers do vary, but we do at least find some nests. Kimberly asked, she adopted a hatchling. Am I notified when it's released? You will not be notified when it's released, just because since it's an honorary adoption, you can kind of choose which hatchling it is. So what I like to tell people, if you watch any of our Facebook Live releases, you can always just kind of keep an eye out on one of them, and you can choose that as your hatchling. But you should have gotten your adoption packet in the mail. If you have not, or you just ordered it, feel free to email our marketing director or contact us on here. Let's see. Leticia asked, there's a new building going up across the street from y'all with a turtle on the building. Is that a Sea Turtling store or something? No, it is not. That building is not associated with our organization at all. So we're on the opposite side of the street. We are working on renovating our hospital side sometime soon, but it's going to happen in the current lot. So we're going to tear it down and build it back up. That Sea Turtle building across from us is not associated with us at all. Let's see. Debbie asks, have you seen a correlation between number of nests and the lowest number of people on the beaches? So here on South Padre Island, the beaches were not closed for very long. It was only a couple of weeks. So it's very hard because we can't really interpret, the mama's responses or the hatchling's responses to that, because right now there's a lot of people out on the beach and we were really only closed for such a short period of time that I'm sure it had very little to no effect. The only thing that would really disturb the presence of people would be the nesting process. So if a mama came out, which this did happen this season, if a mama comes out, there's a lot of people and she's getting stressed, she'll do what we call a false crawl. So she will not lay her nest and she'll return to the ocean. So this happens when they're stressed. So that could have happened, more false crawls, but we did not document that many false crawls and a decrease in them this season. Now, it would have been different if we would have been closed for a longer period of time, but we were not really closed for that long. And also, we were expecting a high number of nests this year, not because of COVID, but because of the trends in their nesting process. So they nest about every 2 to 3 years, and we had a really big year in 2017, so we were expecting a big year this year. Let's see. Do sea turtles come back where they hatch or lay eggs, or do they do it where they feel comfortable in certain islands or beaches? So hatchlings will actually imprint on the beaches that they are born on, and when it's their turn to nest in the future when they're adults, they will return to those exact same beaches. So that's why nesting beaches are so important to protect, because sea turtles are returning to the exact same places over time. So it's pretty cool that they're able to imprint and navigate themselves around the world that way. It's pretty impressive. Let's see. Gregory asked, do the turtles nest all along the Texas coast or just in specific areas? So up at Corpus, they see a lot more nests than we do, and then we have some as well, and then Galveston and some other spots will get some nests. So there is a large part of Texas that kind of covers, but northern Mexico is where they primarily nest. So that's their primary nesting grounds, is in Rancho Nuevo in Mexico. Flora asked, is there a charge to go see a release? We do not charge for our hatchling releases. We are just not hosting any this season. But hopefully next year we'll be able to do public releases again, and you'll be able to join us, and those are free of charge. Rocky asked, how many of our turtles in the hospital have been able to be released back to the wild? Over 90% of our patients do get released back to the wild. So that's the data on that. If you have any more questions, please type them into the comments below. If I don't get to them now, I'll try to answer some more later. Thank you all so much for watching and for all of your questions. I appreciate it. You can actually see in the poster behind me, we have the Kemp's Ridley right up here. So the hatchling, it's saying, you know, about 0.6 ounces is an average hatchling size. Then there's the juvenile Kemp's Ridley and the adult. And that's pretty consistent with what we see. So our hatchlings, you know, weigh around between 15 and 20 grams or so, which is so tiny and so cute, but they are very teeny tiny when they start out. Let's see what else. We got some more questions coming in. Do you see a variety of nests or just the Kemp's Ridley? We see primarily Kemp's Ridley, so far this season, we have only 2 Atlantic green sea turtle nests. We might see a loggerhead nest or 2. Valerie asked, what's the age of volunteers? It is 17 to volunteer at Sea Turtle Inc. We actually have a ton of information on our website, about our volunteer program. If you go to Sea Turtle Inc. volunteer, there's an application there. And also, I believe the contact information for our volunteer coordinator, Mary Duncan, she'll be able to provide you with a lot more information. Let's see. I've seen videos where sea turtles get lost and end up in cold water areas and they freeze. Do you know why they get lost? So, you know, it's pretty normal for them to migrate around different areas. So, for example, the Kemp's Ridley, they do get cold stunned. They see that a lot on the East Coast, and that's just because they're kind of making their way up there and they'll end up in colder weather. Well, they'll get stunned. But, you know, there's different things that can throw off their migration patterns, I'm sure. But they do migrate a lot to different areas, and Kemp's actually kind of stay in the same general area, you know, Gulf of Mexico, Atlantic coast. There are other sea turtle species that travel way further than that, so they can end up in those colder climates and then cold stun. We do see some cold stun turtles here in Texas as well, so every winter we prepare for these events, because when that happens, we can see hundreds of sea turtles washing up in that state of shock from the temperature. So with that, I'll conclude. If you have any other questions, please type them into the comments below. Thank you so much for tuning in to this Facebook Live and for supporting us. We're sorry we have to be temporarily closed, but we're happy to share these videos with you guys to keep you updated on what we're doing. And, you know, say thank you to our conservation and our rehabilitation staff. They're working really, really hard, even when we are close to take care of our animals. A huge nesting season means a lot of work for our conservation team. They're very, very grateful to have it, though. But give them a shout out in the comments. That team, the conservation team, and our rehab team is doing a great, great job. These teams are full of dedicated people that really care for sea turtles, and I am so proud and honored to work with these people. So thank you so much, and I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Bye-bye.